Jesus the friend of children. Jesus was the friend of children. He smiled at them as they watched them busy with their games. They knew that he was their great friend. They all loved him and wanted to be close to him. When the children saw Jesus coming down the road, they would stop their games and run quickly to meet him. Jesus was also a friend of fathers and mothers. He listened to them when they talked about their children. A father said, "My little boy is sick. Please come and cure him." Jesus was happy to be able to help the little boy. He also cured many other children. He loved them all. One hot day Jesus had been very busy. He had helped many people and his friends noticed that he was very tired. They were walking along the road. Jesus has to rest, they said. When they found a quiet place on the side of the road, Jesus sat down to rest. Wherever Jesus went, people followed him. We have to listen to Jesus, they said to each other. He is our friend. He will help us. The fathers and mothers who were following Jesus saw him sit down. Let us take the children to him, they said. The friends who wanted Jesus to rest were very upset. They did not want him to bother him. We just want Jesus to put his hands on our children and bless them, said the mothers. But Jesus's friends said, we must ask them to go away. And Jesus heard them. Jesus saw the fathers and mothers with their children waiting for him. He smiled and raising his arms said, "Let the children come to me. Do not push them away." Immediately the children ran to Jesus and the mothers brought their little ones to him and Jesus took the children in his arms and blessed them. No one went out with Zacchaeus or invited him anywhere. He always walked alone through the busy streets. No one smiled at him or greeted him. People had to pay him a lot of money in taxes. Zacchaeus was very stingy and no one wanted to be friends with a tax collector. One day Zacchaeus heard two men talking. "Jesus is everyone's friend," said one of them. "Yes, he even has a tax collector, Matthew, as a friend," said the other, shaking his head. "I would like to see Jesus," said lonely Zacchaeus to himself. "He must be very kind." Suddenly Zacchaeus heard the excited voices of the people in the street. A large crowd was waving their hands and shouting, "Jesus is coming! Jesus is coming!" The little man ran and stood on his hind legs. But he could not see anything. "I want to see Jesus. What can I do?" thought Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus ran down the street until he came to a tree. "I will climb up and then I can see Jesus," Zacchaeus said to himself. Climbing up into the tree, Zacchaeus peered through the thick foliage to watch Jesus pass by. But Jesus stopped beneath the tree, looked up, and said, "Zacchaeus, hurry down, for I want to stay at your house today." Zacchaeus was greatly astonished, and he hurried down from the tree and stood beside Jesus. Jesus walked Zacchaeus home. No one knew why he was staying with a tax collector, but Jesus spoke to him. Then Zacchaeus gave back a lot of money to the people and felt much happier. Zacchaeus was never alone again. The family friend. Near the coast lived a very happy family. Jesus was their best friend. They were Peter and his wife and Andrew his brother. Peter's mother-in-law also lived with them. We will call her the grandmother. Jesus loved to visit this happy family. The grandmother lived happily dedicated to her chores. She helped prepare the food and made many delicious things for her family. Everyone liked her because she was cheerful and talked with everyone. Friends who lived on the same street always asked, "How is Grandma?" One day Jesus, Peter and Andrew were in the temple. All the people sang praises to God and everyone listened to the word of Jesus. They knew that Jesus had helped many of those who were in the temple. After the divine service was over, Jesus went out with his friends Peter and Andrew. Jesus, Peter and Andrew returned home. Jesus was going to eat with Peter's family. Perhaps the friends who were in the temple asked Peter, "How was Grandma?" They knew that she would go to great lengths to have everything ready for their guest. Jesus, the family friend. When they arrived at Peter's house, they noticed that everything was quiet. There was no food prepared. The grandmother was very sick and had a high fever. When Jesus arrived, they begged him to help her. Jesus took the grandmother's hands in his and she opened her eyes and smiled. As soon as Jesus touched her, she felt better. She got up and started to help prepare the food. The fisherman's friend. Jesus had been gone for some time. His friends were very sad. Among them were Peter, James and John. They had been with Jesus before he left. Now they were sitting on top of a hill wishing that Jesus would be with them. Jesus had promised his friends that he would return, and so they were waiting for him. At the foot of the hill there was a large blue lake, and they went down to the shore. Peter, James and John saw the fishermen's boats sailing nearby and the children jumping and playing at the edge of the water. Peter, James and John grew tired of waiting. The boys had gone. It was getting late and Jesus had not arrived. Peter could wait no longer. His own fishing boat was not far away and he managed to bring it close to the shore where they were waiting. "I'm going out fishing," he said. The friends fished all night but caught nothing. Not even a single fish. So they decided to return to land. As they approached the shore, someone called out, "Friends, did you catch anything?" They replied, "We didn't even catch a fish." "Throw the net to the right of the boat and you will find some," said the voice. So they did. When they tried to pull in the net, they found it full of fish. Then John said, "It's Jesus." He had finally returned. Peter was so eager to see Jesus again that he threw himself into the water and waded out to meet his friend. The fisherman dragged the net full of fish to the shore, lit a fire on the shore to roast the fish, and handed out bread. "Bring some of the fish you have caught," said Jesus. Then Peter went to help the others with the net and brought more fish to grill. "Come and eat," said Jesus. And so they all had breakfast on the shore with their good friend Jesus.